Hi everyone. Welcome to Speaky Brains. Okay, I want to talk a bit about my thoughts on TV journalists. Things like late night shows, all news shows where they interview people. What can I say? Basically, it's a terribly bad format in which no truth is ever found. You could watch 100 hours of late night hard hitting journalism. You won't find out anything. I'm not kidding. You will not find out anything. Why is that? Yeah, why is that? Well, I'm thinking it's because they're not interested in finding anything out. They're not, they get someone on their show. Their priority is not to try and discover more about what that person thinks. And the reason is they're on this thing called television. They have short amounts of time to keep your attention. And what they're going to do with it is do the thing that is actually the most base attraction for human beings. And it's kind of, well, you could call it violence in a way, but it's a fight. They're going to show you, they're going to dress it up as intellectual talk. They're going to dress it up as hard-hitting journalism. In fact, it's a bullfight. It's just they're going to try and destroy someone in front of your eyes. And that's a visceral, heart-pumping thing to watch. People's careers can be destroyed. People can be destroyed in that situation. If they say the wrong thing on television. And let's just have a look at the actual format and how loaded it is, ridiculously loaded, right, in the favour of the journalist or the TV journalist, the interviewer. So people come on the show. First thing is they're going to film it, they're going to edit it, right? So if you say something they don't like, well, they're just going to cut that out. Most times they'll cut that out. Second thing, and this is a big thing, yeah? The journalist asks the questions, right? Now, you might think, oh, well, of course, the journalist asks the questions. Everybody knows that. Okay, they know that. Well, how's this become established? It's become established by the journalists because that's the way they want it to be. So if people start asking questions back about the question, if they say, well, your question doesn't make sense, or your question has got false premises in it, false assumptions, yeah? The journalist would just go, well, next question. They'll ignore it. Or they just say, I ask the questions, right? So you have to realise just how mental a system that is. And we've been absorbing this for, 50 years. It's completely unfair. And of course, the journalist will be doing his very best, most times, to completely misrepresent what the other person is saying. Most of the times, they're not, they're just not reasonable questions. The journalist doesn't want, you could get someone brilliant on there who's got loads of interesting things to say. And instead of trying to, instead of getting out of them some of their interesting stuff, all they will do is try to assassinate they will try to find anything that they've ever said in their whole lives, in print or any time, for the last 40 years, and try to catch them out in their sort of mental parlance. They're going to catch them out. And this is meant to look like, a great comeuppance for this person. It's not fair. It's not correct. It's just not. People, this idea of, they call it quote mining, by the way. They know full well what they're doing. So, they're asking these questions. And then if the person says, well, your question assumes things about me which are incorrect, it just gets ignored. And they just go to the next question, right? They just ignore it. Or they'll literally say, I'm asking the questions. What I'm saying is, this is a terrible format. It's just terrible. And and this is the big deal, really, I think it's taught everybody how to do this. I think it's permeated, the public mind, whatever you call it. But, a lot of people have learned these techniques of how to misrepresent, catch out, that kind of stuff. They have educated us in a terrible form of communication. And it's that what they're doing really is trying to show you something horrible. So they're trying to show you someone being destroyed, and it looks like intellectual stuff. It looks like hard-hitting journalism. The real attraction, that people haven't, don't kind of notice. So they're looking to see someone be destroyed. They're watching a fight. They're watching an actual fight. It's just done in this bizarre way. And it's apart from being totally unfair, if you go on a TV show and you aren't the quickest thinker on earth, they will destroy you. They will destroy you. Lots of the level of brilliance you have to have, a quick thinking, you have to have, because you won't get 5 minutes to deconstruct what was wrong with the false premises in the question, because it's one-to-one. It's live or recorded live. So there are very few people that can ever cope with that unfair format, because you just have to be so fast. It's unbelievable. And what I'm saying is it's an utterly unfair, it's utterly useless, it's no pursuit of the truth. You will learn nothing. I've learned nothing from watching Newsnight again and again and again. But I've watched it and I thought, why am I watching it, And I'm watching it for this sort of viscerality, this the aggro, really. It's not intellectual, it's not journalism. He's not looking for the truth. There's nothing to be discovered, nothing. And that's what I think. I think we should realise that, and realise that it's had an effect. I really seriously think people have learnt these techniques from TV journalists, and also the way, if you're politicians, the way they answer back, it seeps into people's heads. They start, we learn. There's been too much of it for it to not have seeped into people's thinking. And it's terrible. Okay, that's it.